to part 2 of Food is Medicine. I'm here with Sarah Treat, an amazing certified nutritionist, and we're just going to take up where we left off last month, and we were talking about foods, and that's where we want to start this month because we want to help you out. And you know, I was just thinking about, and we were talking about how our nation is so incredibly great at taking something that really isn't bad for you, but making it bad because they ultra process it and they keep adding chemicals to it, and they're trying to make it bad, and they don't have to make it bad. And how they come out with these new things. And I was just telling Sarah, telling her about, hey, there's this new drink out there, right? Poppi, and I don't know maybe it's called Poppy, okay. And I was like, yeah, and somebody sent me a clip from this song that somebody did on American Idol, and they had those big things there, and I was like, what is that? I don't know what it is, you know. And then my husband had one of those drinks in the speakers lounge on Sunday, and he goes, hey, this is a new drink, it tastes really good, it only has, I don't know if it didn't have sugar. I don't know what he said, but I picked it up. I looked at it. I read the stuff on it. I was like, oh no, do not drink this. I don't want you drinking this. This is terrible for you.
Well, it's being marketed as healthy.
Yeah, it's being marketed as healthy. And that's what we're talking about. This stuff, they pay influencers to go out and they give them their product and they're paying them. And it's not healthy, but they're saying it's healthy. Right?
Sure.
Yeah, so I mean, let's talk about that. These things that aren't healthy, they're not healthy. They put all this unnecessary ingredients in these things that we don't need to have and make it unhealthy. So we're going to talk about, and this junk food, they just turn stuff that was supposed to be healthy into junk food.
Sure. So over 70% of the U.S. food supply is ultra processed. The average American eats 57 pounds of added sugar per year.
Wow.
So yes, we've talked a lot about what not to eat. We should talk about what
to eat.
Let's
tell you about some of those things
we should be eating.
Yes.
And so I hear this a lot. Sarah, doesn't a banana have too many carbs?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
or sugar.
Or sugar. But it's sugar from the earth, isn't it? It's from a tree. It's from the ground, and so The first thing I do with my clients is I take them through a class on clean eating, and it said, listen, let's talk about earth food. Let's talk about food that comes from the earth, and we were saying it earlier, so food that comes out of the ground and the animals that eat it. Let's just simplify. We are hunter-gatherers by design.
Mm-hmm.
We have teeth that we're actually omnivores. We're not herbivores. You know, we don't have straight teeth. We have canines, but we're not lions or dogs. You know, we're not eating raw meat.
Yeah.
We're in the middle. We do need both, and we need to be eating more nutrient dense food. So nutrient dense means more nutrients per calorie. So broccoli is a cup of broccoli is like 30 calories. Well, if you want to eat 5 cups of broccoli, please do. You know, you can eat as much as you want. So let's just start with something super simple. And I know that everybody knows this, but do they do it? Do you eat enough fruits and vegetables? Mm-hmm. Do you eat enough fruits and vegetables every single day?
Yeah.
If you want something sweet, are you eating a bowl of grapes or watermelon, or are you eating a cookie?
Or M&Ms.
Or 5 cookies, yes. Or are you drinking a soda?
Yeah. Oh,
and
gosh,
I know all about soda.
Source.
I grew up on Coca-Cola. That was a tough one to let go of. So the other thing about sodas is the chemistry. It's so acidic. It pulls minerals. So we need more minerals. And so it's fruits and vegetables. So it does. Let's talk about the perimeter.
Yeah.
You know, fresh things.
Yeah.
That's fresh fruits and vegetables, meats. I'm not opposed to some dairy. It's, you know, if it's real food. And I don't want people to be overwhelmed with perfect, like organic, grass-fed. That's not, don't worry about that at the beginning. Even if you're buying avocados and chicken at Walmart, at least it's a real food. So we just need more whole foods, more of that hunter-gatherer whole foods. And then the snacks should be like on occasion. I think a big issue with us is that we snack too much and we don't eat real meals. And you know, even working with you, and I was showing you what a meal is, how much food it's really
Right.
supposed to have. It's
Right.
it's like, wow, like
It's
I'm
a
really
lot.
supposed
It
to
was a
eat
lot.
that much
I was wondering how was I going to do that?
real food.
Yeah.
So we need more. So that's my my mindset trick, if you will, is like, let's actually focus on what we need to be eating more of. If you go there, you're going to naturally eat less of what you're not supposed to be eating.
So good.
So,
Very good.
but we get stuck in the convenience cycle. Okay.
Right.
We're busy.
Yeah.
We're all working till
fast
5,
food.
and then kids have sports and homework, and oh my gosh, how
are we gonna
and
do
how
this?
many of us have a meal plan? Like how many?
Right.
Maybe 5% of the population have a meal plan. So we've been crippled by convenience. So the way out of this is to start eating more at home and planning your meals, even if it's 2 or 3 days at a time. We got to be eating more at home. We need children to be expecting that. We need to be buying less snacks, and they need to be eating real meals, and they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it no matter
Sure.
what. So,
They
and you
are.
don't have to be a Nazi about it. I know my middle daughter was like, "Mom, you used to be an almond mom." I was like, "What is an almond mom?" It was all just perfect and natural. But they did. Now they have cars, and that's out of my control. They're walking in with bags. I'm just like, okay, Lord, I taught them well.
That's right.
So yeah, that's those are some things that you can start with, and eating more bigger real meals and unsnacking. That's a principle that I teach, is like, stop eating all those little things. Eat a banana, eat a boiled egg, eat some yogurt that doesn't have all that stuff in it. And so it can be done. It can be done, and you can feel really good. And I think that's worth it.
Yeah, for sure. If there are any healthy snacks that you could give to kids, what would you? Well, you said fruit. Give them fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them fruit. Give them. It's really important that they eat a meal. One tip I have for families is move dinner up, especially if you have younger kids. They're starving when they come home from school. It's almost like they should have their dinner when they come home, even if you kind of eat later. When they're little. They need to be eating real food, but fruit, even cheese sticks, it is dairy, but at least it's real.
Right.
Hopefully they can get into boiled eggs and things like that. Avocados are really good. If your kids will eat avocados, I know one thing, my kids always did avocados. They loved carrots or cucumbers and hummus. So
Hummus
and you know what, they might not be there. That's okay. But honestly, if they just snacked less and ate more real food, that in itself will solve a lot.
Yeah, and I think it's important too that you brought up, hey, you don't have to go to Whole Foods or one of those stores, but you can, because now and more now, H-E-B, Walmart, and Target, I am seeing more and more things that are, and you want to look for, certified organic. And of course non-GMO is important, but look, you still have to read, even though they might say something, you still have to read the ingredients. But I am seeing more and more, right, of those things, and more choices, which we're very blessed, ladies, that we're in this culture and day that we're living in, that we have definitely more options at more places, because
we have the abundance too. Like if we can afford to go out to eat like we do,
yes,
we can afford real food. And
Costco
is amazing.
Yes,
Costco and Sam's, I'm sure, is full of healthy, easy, fast things. You can definitely save a lot of money. One of my and I teach people how to meal plan. It's a skill. And they don't really like that part of my approach, but they have to learn it, because health food doesn't magically appear, and you're gonna have to, that's just part of it. You're gonna have to put the work in. You got to plan, you have to buy it, you have to make it. So yes, it does require time. Health is a time investment. You have to put time into it. And like if you buy a phone, whatever, expensive iPhone, it's $1,000, but you get it right there. But health is like, it's a sweat equity. You have to put some time and some effort in it to get the results.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. I mean, in America, we're so used to the microwave society, right? Everything being right now when I want
The
it.
drive-through,
quick. Yeah.
Look at the line at
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, Whataburger, like they're,
Yeah.
and not that you can't do that sometimes.
Sure. No,
So,
I know. Yeah,
but,
I agree. It's not a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but you're right. But you're right. You look at the lines. Yeah, but you spend that same time. And as you stated in the first section of this, that if we're spending $1,000 a month, okay, on health care, when I say health care, all kinds of, like, you went to the doctor on the average, right?
Average.
Average.
Over $1,000.
Over $1,000.
Probably
a month.
11, yeah, 1,080.
Yeah, on medications and this and that and whatever.
Testing, doctors.
Spend that $1,000 on buying healthy food.
Well,
right?
what if, but okay, $1,000 for medical, how much are people spending going out to eat?
Oh, yeah.
What if
Yeah.
and that's another thing that I would recommend is look at your budget. It's scary, but look at what you're spending. I love Rocket Money. It's a free app. Okay, you should know where all your money goes. Every dollar should have a name. And how much are you spending on convenience food? Okay, well, let's take half of that and cut it in half so we don't have to be all or nothing. And we put that into the grocery store.
Yes.
With a plan.
Yeah, with the plan. That's so good.
Yeah.
So good. Keep the kids, I just thought about something when you were talking about this. I recently went to the hospital to visit someone a couple of weeks ago, and while I was there, her grandson came in with her husband and her granddaughter, and her grandson, he's little, cute little thing, and he's got one of these blue ices. And I'm like, oh. And then he goes,
Buc-ee's.
I know. And he goes, do you want some ice? I went, no. I was like, no, I don't. And I said, and you shouldn't be drinking that either. And
They're like,
I was like,
what?
I was like, this is poison. This is terrible for you. I'm sitting there. The poor
poor
grandma.
kid.
I know. And then it was so funny because then, okay, this is the clicker, okay? Because I prayed for her, right? And then her husband, who's a grandfather, says, would you pray for him? Because because they have custody of him right now. And they were like, he's just so hyperactive and he's doing this. And I'm thinking, well, the first thing you need to do is stop buying him these blue ices.
We'll start there.
Let's start there.
Give him a bowl of grapes.
Yeah, I'm like, sure, I am happy. I will pray for him, but I'm telling you, please stop giving him this stuff because you're like, he won't listen and he won't do this. And I'm like, and he's hyperactive. And he was bouncing off the bed, okay, her bed.
On that note, hyperactivity is, we haven't even discussed exercise.
Oh, yes, you're right. Please, let's bring that up.
And how therapeutic it is. Like you can get off of medicines,
Yes.
honestly. Like blood pressure, cholesterol, medicine is so normalized. And I have noticed in my 2,000 some clients that have come through, there are definitely clients, it's a small percentage that are exercisers. Like they love it. They are consistent exercisers, but they don't eat healthy. So they want me to help them with eating healthy. Great, I can help that. They want to lose some weight. Almost always, they're not on meds. They're overweight, but they're not on meds because they're exercising. And so exercise is medicine. I will never forget when I went to a conference for nutrition, and a physical therapist came up and he said, do you know that you can cure diabetes with exercise? And all he was saying, he wasn't trying to go against the law and say something would cure something.
Right.
But diabetes is a blood sugar issue. There's too much sugar floating around the blood, and if you exercise, it eats the sugar out of your bloodstream. So if you exercise, it pulls the sugar out. So we need to be exercising. I know we're going to talk about some, this MAHA is Okay, great. The government is hopefully getting
yes.
more aware and alive, because
on board.
obviously if 88% of Americans have a metabolic disease and 75% of us are overweight, we've got a real problem.
Yeah.
Okay, and they need to get involved. But one thing that needs to change is movement in the kids. They are not moving enough at school. They're in these buildings all day, at least an hour a day. If you ever look at physical education in the 60s, you would be shocked of the videos. Everybody's fit. I went to a middle school. I'm very lucky my kids are super athletic and fit and do all these things outside of school. However, I went to an in-school, middle school dance thing, and over half of these 12-year-olds had bellies, you know? And that's sad to start your life like that. And so we need to, an ADD, all of that, and it's going to be more prevalent in boys. And a part of a boy is their physicality, and they're made to sit all day. So we need to bring the answer is education. The answer is physical and nutrition education. That's the policies that need to change. I don't see. It's going to be a very long haul with, insurance and medicine. We can't wait for that.
No.
This needs to be one family, one person at a time, taking ownership of your health. Your health is yours. Whatever state of health you're in, it's because of you and your decision.
That's
so
true.
your
choices.
yes, and so we have to get the education and the guidance and hopefully more community around people working together to change
and support each other
too. Yeah, so that's an important piece, is that you can't, it's very difficult to do this alone.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. I agree, and I'm glad you brought that part in because it is huge. Are you going to talk a little bit about about vaccines and the immune system? Now, we're not here to put down vaccines or tell you not to take them or should or shouldn't. We're not talking about that. But let's just talk about, you said the U.S. has the highest number of recommended vaccines for children among developed countries. That was like, wow, because I think there's like 72 or something they have to take now. I don't know, it's crazy, but yet chronic illness in children is rising. So
Cancer, autoimmune,
allergies, behavioral, right? So, God gave us, He made us, and He gave us an immune system, right?
Sure.
To heal ourselves.
Where is your immune system, Cindy?
Where is it?
Where in the body?
Where in the body? I don't know that question. I mean, it's inside here somewhere. Oh, in my gut?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 70 to 80% of your immune system's in your gut.
Okay.
So would food affect it?
Oh, God. Yes. Huge.
So
yes.
we have a biome. A biome is, it looks like a constellation, looks like stars. We have this layer of bacteria, and it's a combination of good and not so good bacteria. Well, your biome's going to be screwed up if you're eating all this crap we talked about. And so that's the beginning of your immune system. It's your protector. Okay, so just like soil in a garden, you can't, especially Texas, just throw seeds on the ground and grow food. That's not going to happen. You have to bring in new, rich soil. So that's a part of the healing process, is you start eating enough of these right foods, you bring in that healing soil. So 70 to 80% of your immune system's in your gut. And so autoimmune, of course, is going to have a connection. And people get sick. That's okay. We're going to get sick. But what we need to with vaccines is just more placebo-controlled studies.
Sure. I agree
and they're not the devil, right? They're not. But we do need to realize that the body does have a natural ability to heal. If we are beautifully and wonderfully made, and God gave us all these these foods and these things on the earth, then there's a lot more power than we think. And if your immune system is strong and healthy, it can handle viruses better. And so when I was a kid, everybody had chicken pox, right? It was no big deal.
Right.
My mom told me everybody had measles. Like it just kind of passed through, and of course it can affect some people differently.
Sure.
But they're going to mutate. There's always going to be something out there, and and germs are good.
Yeah.
They build your immune system. That's why being around people is important, because we're designed to kind of feed off of each other, and that immune system can adapt and react to that. So yeah, and immune system, obviously there's a huge connection to how we're eating and how healthy your immune system is.
Yeah, and if you have to take, because antibiotics can break down your immune system.
And you might have to take them, and that's okay.
And you might have to take them. I had this knee surgery back last year, and I had to be on high doses of antibiotics because of this bacteria that had gotten into my bloodstream. We don't know how, but anyway. And so I was taking high doses of antibiotics, but man, I made sure that I was taking probiotics, and had researched and bought the best one to build back up. But I was fighting, I was just putting the good stuff back into my body to heal.
Yep. So because it does take time for your body to bring it back. So when we constantly assault it with more and more medicines, so
it keeps going down, down, down.
And there are foods that there's types of foods, there's probiotics you can take.
Yeah.
Supplements is another whole can of worms that unfortunately there's a lot of supplements out there that don't do anything, and that's
true.
And I actually appreciate skepticism with supplements, because you shouldn't be spending money on things that don't work.
Yeah, well,
and there's a lot that doesn't.
And tell me, okay, you just talked about that. What are the best supplements? Or like you're saying, these, just take this. You're not telling a brand or anything, but make sure you're.
Well, if we go back to, if we're lacking nutrients, and then you can't get nutrients in a one a day. Like, how is that even possible? If you have like a salad, right?
Yeah.
How would you get all of that nutrition into one pill? So that one pill is a huge waste of time and money.
Yeah.
So you're better off taking a green food, a superfood, a green food in a concentrated form, because you're going to get minerals and vitamins that are food-based in a high amount. So that was actually a key for me that helped my autoimmune. I was lacking so many vitamins and minerals, that heavy dose of minerals. So greens are really, really good. And then we just have to look at like issues. The biome is the next big one. Even if you have good digestion, if you're overweight, your bacteria can dictate your weight. Some of these new medications for weight are actually working in the gut. So it is important. So those are my two start places. And they're not all created equal. Probiotics, most of them aren't effective.
Yeah, no. Well, that's good. Thank you for sharing that. That's really good. So let's talk about some things that need to change, and it won't be quick. Why it won't be quick?
Well, it won't be quick because we're
big pharma's against that.
Well, it's we have a long way to go. I mean, because the education is the first thing, and how long is that going to take to get this trickling down to the schools? And so here's some things I would like to see, is that we end subsidies for corn, soy, and junk food. Now we got to think about this. So we have farms all across America. I grew up in Nebraska. That's all they grow. That's all they grow. So I don't know how we're going to fix that, but it's not against them. But what can we do differently there? We do need to ban the toxic food dyes and additives. So we just need to go to that European model. That would be amazing. I personally, I believe in taxation of these types of toxic foods, honestly, because you should have to pay more money, because the government and all of us have to pay more money. Look at the $13,000 per year for the people that are unhealthy because of their choices. Right. So, but we should require nutrition education in school and medical training. Functional medicine needs to become a part of medical school.
I agree with that.
And yes, this won't be fixed in a year. It's not going to be fixed in even for 8 years. It has to be a generational shift. We can't wait for politicians, insurance, or pharma to save you. This is your choice.
Individual, your choice.
Yeah. We have the free will.
Yeah. I like that you said health isn't coming from a pill bottle or a politician. It's coming from your fork, your feet, and your daily choices. And you said, want to make America great again and make America healthy again.
Yeah.
That's what's going to make us great.
We're going to make us strong.
Make us strong,
and there's a lady that comes into the store that's a military sergeant. You can tell she's hard. And they are having trouble with getting enough people because they're not making weight. They don't have the weight or the physicality to get into the military.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we've got to fix this.
Yeah.
And the schools are huge. I would just go crazy for a job like that, something that I could really get in there to change that.
Yeah, to train and to educate, right? Yeah, it's got to start there. You're right. So important. We can't be a strong nation if we're too sick to function, right?
Yeah.
So we want to speak with our voice. And I like this. You said, talk about freedom. What's more freeing than taking your health back? And lady, we want you to be free. The Bible said, whom the Son sets free is free indeed. Do you want to be free?
Yeah.
Take your health back. Make that choice.
Well, purpose too. We have purpose.
Yes.
God gave us a purpose and a mission.
Yes.
And if you feel like crap all the time, that's you're just existing, and that's just perfect for the other team, isn't it? That we're not amazing, right? We're not vibrant, healthy people that are, making the world a better place.
And I'm so glad that you said that. That's so important because we do each have a purpose. God's given us each a purpose and a destiny, and we won't fulfill it if we're sick. No, we won't. And if we're not at the top of where He wants us to be.
Yeah.
And we want to do that.
And what about like your parents? Like, how do we want to live in our 60s, 70s, and 80s? Do we want to be hiking? Yeah. Do you want to be traveling, fitting in a plane seat?
Yeah.
Do you want your money going towards hospitals, or do you want to go see the world?
Yeah.
And
that's true. And that's what I said made a difference, definitely for my husband, is seeing his dad where he was. That caused us to make the decision we made. Because you're right. How do you want to end up, and where do you want to do? And do you want to end up fulfilling your purpose and saying, my husband had this book, Live Full, Die Empty. Did you live full? Did you die empty? Did you give it all? Did you accomplish everything God had for you? And you won't be able to do that without being healthy. So we're here to encourage you to be healthy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you can
Food
do it.
is medicine. Yeah. So anything else you want to share in the closing?
I'm just so grateful to be here. I had no idea there was cameras. Oh my gosh. I showed up in my sweats and ponytail. But I'm very grateful, and I want to encourage people to make the changes. Make it happen. I love that statement. Like it isn't something that's going to happen to you. You have to decide and you have to act.
Yeah, so important. Yeah, and you have a choice. And Rick talked about choices over the weekend too. So you're like, let's just talk about what you have a choice. You have a choice. So
every day. It's totally up to you.
Yep.
And you are what you eat. So if you renew your cells every 1 to 2 years, well, if we started eating even 70 to 80% of the time the food that we're supposed to eat, where are you going to be in 1 to 2 years?
So much better, in a better place, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just in the kitchen. Not even supplements yet.
Yeah.
Just food.
Yeah.
And movement.
And movement. So good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. It's been a huge blessing, and I'm so excited for, again, our girls to hear this and our chosen women to hear this. And I want you. I was talking to her about coming and sharing at Chosen, doing.
I can do it.
Yeah, I want her to come and do a session at Chosen. And Chosen Conference will be coming up in September. And I said, you've got to do a breakout session for us because we're talking. It's about peace. You need to have peace in your body, right? So I'm excited about, and I believe I'm going to give her the dates, and you look for her. She'll be here at Chosen. And I'm excited about this year and what God's going to do. And I hope you girls have a great day and a great rest of your week and a great, amazing, healthy life. Make those choices to do that. I love you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.